This is our video for Chapter 10, Unit 12. This is mainstream jazz in the 1960s. We're going to have a point here where things, we see a lot of the older music coming back, people want to hear it, and we also see a lot of the new music, so they coexist together. This text chapter talks about vocalists, and you can see on the very first page it talks about some of the vocalists that are very prominent here. Joe Williams, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald. These became household names. A lot of the variety shows during the 60s and 70s had these people on, so it wasn't just a jazz thing, but it was very commercially successful. Successful work here. Also, you start seeing people imitate big bands. Frank Sinatra comes back to the forefront, and big bands are really come back and kind of in their own in a new and different way. Basie kind of reemerges. Ellington becomes another figure. He never lost the status of being a very important figure, but he now becomes a very influential figure. And then we see people who had come through those bands, Ellington's band and other groups. Thad Jones Mello's big band was stationed out of New York, and they created their own new style, big band style, new writing style, and that was an evolution of big band. We're going to see jazz kind of being put into the sacred genre here. So jazz is starting to become more expansive, goes into different areas. You'll read about Miles and what he does in the 60s. And the people that worked with him. Again, if you listen to recordings, especially CTI was a highly produced recording company, and so again it changes, technology changes. Let's see if we can listen to ESP. This is a Miles recording. It's on disc 3 if you have the CDs. If you don't, you should be able to access it online. Either way, but you'll hear a totally different Miles Davis than what you listened to with So What. Let me put that in here. Again, as you study, the easiest thing to do is have written visual things, tools that you can use to pull up and look at. So that you know, you have a reference point and you can draw from that as you're studying. We're going to listen to ESP, and this is actually free jazz. Let's hear what it sounds like. We're also going to hear Wayne Shorter, who goes on to have a career with Weather Report, which is a jazz funk thing. In fact, they're the longest existing jazz funk group that was created. But he's playing with Miles at this point in his career. Miles again was another leader who taught and brought. He was another university, so to speak, for up and coming musicians. Bill Evans, we're going to listen. You can listen to him if you have a chance. Again, Bill was with Miles and another Miles alumni. But if you get a chance to listen to the recording that's not here, but it's called "Lucky to Be Me," it's solo Bill Evans. It's just absolutely beautiful. Solo piano playing, beautiful voice leading. And very intricate music. Let's see here. We got Herbie Hancock, another Miles protege. If you watch the Miles Ahead album, you'll see him being interviewed. First time he, Miles Ahead, that's a DVD. If you watch that, you'll see some pretty interesting comments about Herbie the first time he met Miles. But he actually goes on to form a group called Herbie Hancock and the Headcutters, another jazz funk thing. So, all these great guys come through these name group. Chick Corea, another Miles alumni. Chick went on to form Return to Forever. Now goes out as a duo with Gary Burton on Vibes. They're still playing. So we get to hear some really good stuff here. Let's hear a track. So that's a little bit of ESP. Let's go on to Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. And this is Cannonball. You'll get to hear Cannonball and Nat Adderley.
You know, sometimes we're not prepared for adversity. When it happens, sometimes we're caught short. We don't know exactly how to handle it when it comes up.
So it almost sounds kind of gospelish, funky soul. He's talking. Cannonball is a protege of Charlie Parker and is playing, and a lot of bebop history behind it. This is a tune that made them famous, the Cannonball Adderley Quintet. Cannonball died, his brother Nat is still alive, and you can get recordings of Nat Adderley on cornet. Let's skip ahead here.
Yeah, it's Joe Zabinu who wrote this tune.
So you can hear the funk in it. Again, this is in the 60s. Also, organ and guitar start to come to the forefront here. Jimmy Smith on organ, Wes Montgomery, and there's an example of that on track 6. Keep in mind when you listen to organ, the organist is playing comping in the left hand, lines in the right hand, and a walking bass line on pedals. Again, appreciation for what's being played. Also, the book goes into Lee Morgan, Freddie Hubbard, great trumpet players, Joe Henderson. So keep reading, keep listening, and again, we'll talk about how to study in our group. We'll talk about how to study listening and continue to work towards the final that will be coming up.